Hello everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Uh, I am Manoj Dave, Head of HR and Finance at Startup Steroid, and I'm excited to be here with all of you for this Linkage Live session. Today we are uh, diving into a topic that has become a major concern for businesses worldwide: the ongoing talent shortage and how outsourcing is solving this challenge. So that's the topic that we are going to discuss today. With extensive experience in both US and Indian accounting and HR payroll practices, uh, day-to-day accounting of management and MIS reporting, I have witnessed firsthand the critical role of outsourcing plays in addressing talent gap and driving the organizational success. Whether you are a startup, a mid-sized business, or a large enterprise, you have likely face difficulties in hiring skilled professionals, especially in critical functions like accounting and finance. Finding the right talent is not only tough, but also expensive and time consuming. Now, here is the good news. Outsourcing is emerging as a game changing solution. Instead of struggling to hire locally, businesses are now leveraging global talent pools to get a work done more efficiently, affordable, and at a scale. So over the next 30 minutes, I'm going to cover why the business are facing shortage, talent shortages, how the outsourcing is helping companies overcome this challenge, the benefits of outsourcing accounting functions, and a step-by-step guide on implementing an outsourced model. And of course, I want this to be a interactive discussion. So if you have any thoughts or questions, drop them in the comment, and I'll address them towards the end of the session. So now let's start. So in the first section, uh, before we talk about solutions, let's first understand why businesses are struggling to find skilled professionals. There are 4 to 5 pointers that I have captured here that will help you to answer this question, that why businesses are struggling to find skilled professionals. The very first point is like the aging workforce. Many experienced professionals are retiring, and there aren't enough replacement entering the workforce. Now, this is especially true in the fields like accounting and finance. The skill gaps, that's the second point. The business world is evolving rapidly with new technologies and regulations. Many professionals lack updated skills, making it hard for businesses to find qualified talents. High demand, low supply. That's the third point. Now, the demand for skilled accountants, tax professionals, and financial analysts is skyrocketing, but the supply of the talent isn't keeping up. The fourth point is cost of hiring locally. So, hiring full-time employees come with salaries, benefits, training, and overhead costs. Now, for small and mid-sized companies, this is a major financial burden. So now the big question is, how can business continues to operate efficiently when talent is scarce and expensive? Now, this is where the outsourcing comes in. Now, outsourcing is not just a cost-cutting strategy. It is a strategic move that helps businesses overcome hiring challenges while ensuring efficiency and growth. Now, instead of struggling to find the trained local business can tap into a global network of skilled professionals who are ready to work. So it's more like outsourcing is a game changer here, where if the business is struggling with to find out a trained local talent, or so we just need to identify out the global network of skilled professionals who are ready to work. So it's more like outsourcing comes into picture. Now, here why outsourcing is a game changer, like immediate access to the talents. No need to spend months of hiring time. You get skilled professionals right away. The cost effective. The outsourcing eliminate the recruitment, training, and infrastructure cost. Whether you need one accountant or a full team, outsourcing allows you to scale up or down easily. So, many a times small companies start operations with small level or small scale, and then over a period of time they grows. So when they grows, they requires more, support from the accounting staff, and it can be easy for a outsourcing company to provide you support here. 24/7 operations. Now with teams working across different time zones, business get businesses get a work done faster. So 24/7 support, they works in multiple shifts. So that way, the business continuity helps. So that way, this will be more like a 24/7 operation support. Now, many startups and mid-sized firms outsource bookkeeping, payroll, tax preparation instead of hiring expensive in-house team. Now, this allows them to focus on growth while ensuring compliance and financial accuracies. So, what specific benefits can business gain from outsourcing is? So, let's explore that all points in our next discussion. Now, key benefits of outsourcing of accounting functions. Now, if you are in a business that relies on accurate financial reporting, tax compliances, cash flow management, outsourcing accounting function can be a game changer here. Now, there are five major uh, benefits. The very first point is access to highly skilled professionals. Now, when we are outsourcing the accounting or the accounting and financial related functions, in outsourcing you get access to highly skilled professionals. Outsourcing firms hire certified accountants, tax specialists, financial experts who brings years of experience to the table. Now you don't have to worry about training or skill gaps. They are already experts in the field. So your training cost is saved, your training time is saved. So from that standpoint, also your productivity improves and the cost is being saved when you outsource. Second point is with respect to significant cost savings. Now, instead of hiring a full-time employees with salaries, benefits, offers, and the office cost, outsourcing allows you to pay only for the services you need. So, instead of hiring a full-time employee, you may, hire out or you may outsource a part of tasks, and you can manage out the activities. Business can save 50% compared to hiring in-house teams. So that's, from the cost saving perspective, first thing is that, as the team is already trained, your training time is saved, your hiring cost is being saved. So that way, you're saving multiple costs. So that way, approximately it's 50% cost is being compared when you are, hiring someone in-house. The third point, from the benefit standpoint, is scalability and flexibility. So, from scalability standpoint, if you need any extra help during tax seasons, no problems. Outsourcing team can accommodate extra resources and extra support and can help you out in managing out all those activities. Outsourcing allows business to scale their workforce up or down, based on the demands, without the risk of layoffs or hiring freeze. So, many a times it happens that, in the companies there are layoffs going on, or the hiring is freeze. So it becomes very difficult for a department to backfill the positions as and when required. So that way the outsourcing will help to upscale the workforce as and when required. The fourth benefit point is with respect to compliance and accuracies. Now, when we are outsourcing the activities, uh, accounting and tax law changes frequently, and an outsourced expert stay updated on the regulations, ensuring compliance and reducing the risk of errors. Now, this is especially critical for businesses handling international financial operations. So, many a times it happens that, IRS has come up with some new compliance rules and regulations. So, as an organization, we need to comply with all those regulations that are being passed by the government. So, from that standpoint, outsourcing companies already being trained, already being updated, up to date with the latest changes that help us to comply with 100% or, with a, 100% accuracy from the accounting standpoint. Last point with respect to outsourcing accounting is, faster turnaround time. Now, since outsourced teams often work in multiple time zones, businesses can get financial reports, payroll processing, tax filing done much faster than in-house team, because from the outsourcing team standpoint, they have a multiple supports available as compared to the in-house team. So because in-house team we have limited capabilities, but in outsourcing they have a multitasking labor force available with them, so they can manage out the activities very fast. So that way turnaround time is less when we outsource the activities. So these are 5 pointers from the benefit standpoint. Now, how do you implement outsourcing successfully? Let's talk about that in the next points. Now, how to successfully implement outsourcing model? That's our fourth point that we are going to discuss out now in brief. So, if you are convinced that outsourcing is the way forward, we have drafted simple 5 steps guide to get started. The very first point is, identify out your needs. So the very first thing is that decide out which accounting functions to outsource. Is it bookkeeping? Is it tax preparation, payroll, financial reporting? Which is the area, what business is expecting it to outsource? So first thing, decide out, identify out your needs. Second point is choose the right partner. Now, when we look for the outsourcing firms with proven experience, strong security measures, and ability to scale. So in a in nutshell, if I'm just telling you, these are the three major pointers that you need to keep into account when you're choosing a third party vendor for managing your outsourcing of accounting. So accounting or finance. So look for outsourcing firm with proven experience. So what are their experiences? What are they best up to? Strong security measures, because as they are going to manage out your data, financial data is highly highly, you can say, uh, data from the data privacy standpoint, financial data are more critical. So strong security measures are required when we are outsourcing the activity, and ability to scale. The third point that we need to review when we are planning to implement the outsourcing model is establish the clear communication. Now, set expectations. Whenever we are hiring a third party vendor, we need to set expectations. We need to define out the response time, and we also need to define out the reporting structures to ensure a smooth operations. So whenever we are dealing with a third party vendor, these are the pointers which we need to have in place that will help us to define out the clear communication method. The fourth point is with respect to integrate technologies. Now, as we are going to outsource the activity, and many a times it happens that we are already either we already have in-house accounting software, or we have bought some software. So we need to define out what are the accounting platforms that will help us to manage out all the activities in the outsourcing environment. So use cloud-based accounting platforms like QuickBooks, Xero, NetSuite to improve the workflow, efficiency, and transparency. And the fifth point is with respect to monitor performance and optimization. So when we have outsourced the activity, review reports regularly and make adjustments as needed to ensure long-term success. So we are going to measure out the performance of how the activities are managed on day-to-day operations. So we need to define out our KPIs with respect to timeliness, accuracy, and we need to review out the reports regularly to make sure that the outsourcing activity is providing us the expected outcomes. With this, I will come up to a conclusion here. Now, to sum up, outsourcing is no longer just an option. It's a necessity for business facing talent shortages, It provides access to expert professionals, significant cost saving, flexibility and scalability, compliance and risk management, and faster turnaround time. Now, if your business is struggling to hire the right talent, consider outsourcing. It will help you to focus on growth without being held back by talent shortages. With this, now I like to hear from you. What are your thoughts on outsourcing? Have you tried outsourcing accounting functions? How was your experience? Drop your questions in the comments and I'll be happy to answer them. Now we'll go through questions that we do have, so that we can answer out. Okay, the very first question is outsourcing only up for big companies or can a small businesses benefit too? Okay, great question. Uh, Many people think outsourcing is just for large corporations, but that's not true. Small and medium sized businesses actually benefit the most because outsourcing allows them to access expert talent without hiring a full-time employees. Startup and small businesses can save money, scale efficiently, and focus on growth instead of struggling with hiring and training. So that was a you know I would say a brief answer with respect to uh, whether only big companies or a small businesses benefit too. So it's more like everyone is going to be benefited out of outsourcing function. So it's going to help them to access to the expert talents, cost saving, and efficiency. Okay, what's the next question? Okay, how can I ensure data security when outsourcing accounting functions? So yeah, that's also a very important and a critical question that we need to assess when we are defining out the outsourcing of accounting and finance. Security is a major concern, and a reputable outsourcing provider will have a strong data encryption, secure cloud platforms, and compliance measures like GDPR, SOC 2, or ISO 27001. Before choosing a right partner, always ask about their security clarifications and policies. Trust and transparency are the keys here, so that we have to be 100% sure about the data privacy and compliance related measures that are being taken care by the third party vendor when they are managing out the outsourcing accounting functions for us. Okay, third question is, what are the top accounting functions that business commonly outsource? Yeah, that's again a very good question, because many a times it happens that accounting is just not one function. It's a group of different functions which combo makes it accounting functions like bookkeeping, payroll processing, tax preparations, accounts payable and receivable, financial reporting and forecasting. So these are different functions that are part of the accounting function. So we need to just define out. So what are the top accounting functions that business commonly outsource are, majority of the time it's bookkeeping, because that activity requires all recording of daily transactions. When the volume is there, it becomes very difficult for them to manage out on a day-to-day basis the bookkeeping functions. So that is a function which is commonly outsourced. Payroll processing, again, salary disbursement, tax deductions of and compliance related activity, that again require an expert knowledge. So small businesses, medium-sized businesses, and big firms also, they outsource out this activity because to manage out all the compliance related activities for the payroll. Tax preparation and compliance, again, it requires an expert knowledge and expert advices from CPAs and the chartered accountants from India standpoint. So that also requires many a times this is a function also commonly being outsourced by the companies. Account payable and receivables, financial reporting and forecasting. So these are two more additional pointers, or you can say functions, which are being outsourced. So accounts payable and receivables requires that how much is payable, or what is the day-to-day operations related activities like payables and receivables, which is very critical and requires expert management by some team. So that is also a function which is being outsourced. And from financial and reporting forecasting standpoint, this helps businesses to make strategic decisions. So this is also a function which is being outsourced. So these are some common functions which are outsourced in accounting. Okay. Okay, what is the next question is, isn't outsourcing just a way to cut cost? Okay. Uh, while outsourcing does save costs, that's not the only reason business do it with respect to the outsourcing. The biggest advantage is access to high quality talent, and many outsource professionals are highly skilled, certified, and experienced, and often more than local hires. Plus, outsourcing firms focus on efficiency and accuracy. So, business actually get better quality, work in less time, and cost saving. So it's just not the cost because of which the function is being outsourced, but it is also, the quality and the timeliness is also one of the pointers which are being taken into account when we are outsourcing the activity. Okay. Next question is with respect to what are some warning signs that an outsourcing provider isn't the right fit? It's a great question, because many a times it happens that we have outsourced the function, but then we are finding it difficult to coordinate and work with the third party vendor. So what are the signs we just need to identify? Also, what are the red flags, I would say? So there are few red flags. I cannot list down everything, but yes, these are some major red flags that you need to keep into account when you are working with your third party vendor. The very first point is lack of transparency in pricing and services. So we need to have a proper documentation with respect to pricing and services that are being outsourced. So that will give us a proper transparent environment. If this particular things are missing, then there will be a transparency issue, and we'll find it difficult to work with the third party vendor, because many times it happens that we had discussed some services or the scope of work, but then later on, as it is not documented or it's not properly defined, there is a dispute between the two. So that way, to avoid all these things, we need to just list down, uh, from the transferring standpoint, pricing and services are the two major points. Poor communication or delayed response. So when we have outsourced the activity, we are with the expectation is that there is no delayed response. If we are not getting response on time, that's also a red flag. No clear security policies for handling sensitive financial data. If your third party vendor do not have a clear security policies for managing the or handling the sensitive financial data, that's also a red flag. Limited scalability, meaning they can't grow with your business. So let's say, for example, if your third party vendor has got a limited capacity and is not able to support you for your growth, then it's again a red flag. And no real client references or reviews. So when we are working with some third party vendor and then there are no real client references or reviews for the third party vendor, that's again a red flag. So these are few pointers which reflect as a red flag when when we are defining out whether the third party vendor or the outsourcing provider isn't the right fit for us. If I was able to answer your question answers. Okay, so next question is, how do I maintain control over outsource accounting functions? So the key to strong communication, key is the strong communication and technology integration. So these are the two important points to maintain control over accounting functions. Business should set clear KPIs and reporting structures. So when we are outsourcing some activity, let's say, for example, if we have outsourced bookkeeping function, so we need to have a proper KPIs in place where we are listing down, let's, for example, if it's a bookkeeping entry is timeliness and accuracy of the bookkeeping entries is a KPI. That's one of the KPI, and the reporting that we need to take on a regular basis to review out whether the function is whether the control is proper in place, because that is going to help us out whether the outsourcing partner is working within the timelines and within the accuracy levels. Second point is with respect to use of the cloud accounting tools like QuickBook, Zero for the real-time update. So as is a cloud, as it is a cloud-based accounting tools, anyone can log in and check the status. So outsourcing team is working. You can log in and you can just validate out on a real-time basis what are the entries done, what are the reports that are readily available in the accounting tools. So that is also going to give you, a control. Schedule regular checks in with the outsourcing partner. So it should be, more like regularly connect with your outsourcing partner, set some expectations to, discuss out all the action items that are pending or that are expected out of their performance. So that way we need to do a regular checks in and then request a detailed report to ensure the full transparency. So many a times we have to take a detailed reporting from the outsourcing partner, third party vendors with respect to full transparency. So they need to provide us all the reports on time. So these are some pointers which will help to maintain control over the outsourcing accounting functions. Uh, we have one more question. One of the biggest uh, myth, I would say, this is also an important question. What's the biggest myth about outsourcing? One of the biggest myth is I will lose control over my business if I outsource. The truth is, outsourcing actually gives you more control because you are working with specialized professionals who handle day-to-day tasks, allowing you to focus on strategy, decision making, and business growth. So you are more focusing on productive activities or productive tasks of your business than to focus on the day-to-day regular activities. So that's myth is not correct that you are going to lose your controls. Uh, so that way you are going to get more controls. And we have a last question. How can outsourcing help business scale during peak seasons? Uh, right now, I think so. In the US, there is a tax season going on. So, till 15th of March, the LLC 1040 filing, 1060 filing, and everything was going on. And, one of the biggest advantage of outsourcing is scalability. Now, if business faces business busy tax season or high transaction volumes, outsourcing allows them to bring in extra support temporarily without hiring a full-time staff. Now, once the peak season is over, they can scale down without worrying about the layoffs or overhead costs. So that way, it's going to help, to manage out all the outsourcing related functions. Hope I was able to give some insights about the, the benefits of outsourcing and addressing the talent shortage through the outsourcing function. So hope I was able to provide you some insights. With this, we are near the end of our session. Thank you all for joining, and I look forward to continuing this conversation. See you soon. Thank you very much.